I avoided my mom after she told me to suck it up when I broke my fingers. So I was at the gym on a Tuesday afternoon doing my usual routine. I go to this place near campus that's basically always packed with people who don't re-rack their weights. I was trying to grab a 45-pound plate off the rack when this idiot next to me knocked into the whole stack. 3 plates came crashing down straight onto my left hand. The pain was instant. Like white hot, can't breathe kind of pain. I looked down and my pointer finger, middle finger, and ring finger were already swelling up. The bruising started showing up within like 2 minutes. I sat on the floor for a second because I genuinely thought I was gonna pass out. This guy who worked there came over and asked if I needed ice, but I couldn't even answer him because I was crying so hard. I grabbed my phone with my right hand and called my mom. She's never been the type to freak out over injuries or anything. When I was younger and twisted my ankle during soccer, she told me to walk it off. When my brother got a concussion, she said he was being dramatic. So I already knew this wasn't gonna go well, but she was the first person I thought to call. She picked up and I was like trying to explain through sobs that a weight fell on my hand and I think I broke my fingers. I told her I needed to go to urgent care because it hurt so bad I couldn't even move them. She literally said, "Suck it up and rest." Not even like, "Are you okay?" or "Let me know how it goes." Just suck it up. I sat in the gym parking lot for like an hour just holding my hand and trying to decide what to do. My fingers didn't look super deformed or anything. They were just swollen and turning purple. So I thought maybe she was right. Maybe I was being dramatic and they were just bruised. When I got back to my apartment, my roommate Kayla took one look at my hand and was like, "We need to go to urgent care right now." I told her my mom said to wait and she literally said, "Your mom isn't here looking at your hand right now." I am. The thing is, my mom has always told me and my brother to never go to the ER or urgent care unless we're literally dying because our insurance sucks. She says we can't afford the bills. So I felt bad going against her. But I also couldn't move my fingers without wanting to scream. I looked up how much an x-ray would cost out of pocket at the urgent care by campus. It said $200. I had that in my checking account from my campus job, so I texted my mom and told her I wanted to go and that I'd pay for it myself if I had to. She texted back, "You better hope your fingers are broken or else I'm not helping you pay for anything." Which was such a weird thing to say. Like now I'm sitting here hoping my fingers are actually broken, just so I can prove to my mom that I wasn't being dramatic. What kind of situation is that? Kayla drove me to urgent care and we waited for like 30 minutes before they took me back. The nurse asked what happened and I explained the whole weight situation. She looked at my hand and was like, "Yeah, we definitely need an x-ray." They did the x-ray and it hurt like hell because I had to position my hand in certain ways. The doctor came back in and said my pointer finger and middle finger were both broken. He said if they don't heal right, I might need surgery. He put a splint on my hand and wrapped it up and gave me a prescription for pain meds. I called my mom from the parking lot after. I told her both fingers were broken and the doctor said I might need surgery. She laughed. Like actually laughed. Then she said, "Well, you should be glad they were broken then." I hung up without saying anything. Kayla drove me home and I took the pain meds and passed out for most of the next day. When I woke up Thursday afternoon, my hand was throbbing, even with the splint on. I had 17 missed calls from my dad. Not my mom. My dad, who I barely talked to because he and my mom divorced when I was 14 and he moved 3 states away. I called him back and he answered on the first ring. He said my brother told him what happened and asked why I didn't call him first. I didn't really have an answer for that. He said he wanted to send me money for the urgent care bill and I told him I already paid it. Then he asked if I was still talking to my mom. I said no. He went quiet for a second and then he said something that made my stomach drop. He told me my mom did the exact same thing to my brother 4 years ago when he broke his collarbone during football. Made him wait 2 days before taking him to get it checked. My brother never told me that. My dad said she's been doing this kind of thing for years and he should have fought harder for custody. That's when my phone buzzed. It was my mom. She said we needed to talk in person and that she was outside my apartment right now. I looked out my window and sure enough, her silver Camry was parked on the street. She was sitting in the driver's seat, staring at her phone. My heart started racing and not in a good way. Kayla heard the notification sound and came out of her room. "Is that your mom?" I nodded. I could feel this pressure building in my chest. Like when you know something bad is about to happen but you can't stop it. "You don't have to go down there," Kayla said. "You can just text her that you're not ready to talk." But I was still on the phone with my dad. He heard everything. "Is she there right now?" "Yeah." "Don't go down there alone. Put me on speaker. I want to hear what she has to say." I walked down the stairs from my second-floor apartment with my phone in my good hand. The splint on my left hand made everything awkward. When I got outside, my mom was already out of her car leaning against the hood with her arms crossed. She looked tired. Her hair was in a messy bun and she wasn't wearing makeup, which was weird because she never goes anywhere without makeup. She saw me and her expression changed from annoyed to concerned in like half a second. "Let me see your hand." I held it up. The splint was bulky and wrapped in this tan medical tape. "It's not that bad," she said. "You'll be fine in a few weeks." That's when my dad's voice came through the speakerphone. "Diane, what the hell is wrong with you?" My mom's face went pale. "Is that Richard?" "Yeah, it's Richard. And I just found out you did the same thing to Tyler that you're doing to our daughter right now. I don't know what he told you, but He told me you made him wait 2 days with a broken collarbone. 2 days, Diane. A 14-year-old kid. My mom looked at me like I'd betrayed her. You called your father? He called me, I said. Tyler told him. Your brother doesn't know what he's talking about. He was fine. The doctor even said it would have healed the same either way. My dad cut in again. That's not what the medical report said. It said delayed treatment caused improper healing. He had to do 6 months of physical therapy because of you. I didn't know that. Tyler never told me any of this. He just said he hurt his shoulder during football and had to quit the team. I was trying to save money, my mom said. Her voice got higher like she was about to cry. We didn't have insurance. What was I supposed to do? You had insurance through work, my dad said. You just didn't want to use it because you were scared they'd find out about the accident. What accident? I asked. Nobody answered me for a second. Then my dad sighed. Your mom got into a car accident the month before Tyler broke his collarbone. Rear-ended someone at a red light because she was texting. She was terrified the insurance company would drop us if we filed any more claims. My mom's face was bright red now. That's not fair, Richard. You're making me sound like some kind of monster. I'm stating facts, Diane. You prioritized money over our kids' health, multiple times. I was doing the best I could as a single mother. You weren't single when this happened. We were still together. I offered to take Tyler to the hospital myself, and you said no. This was news to me. I always thought my parents split because my dad cheated. That's what my mom told us. She said he left us for his secretary or something. Is that true? I asked my dad. We can talk about that later, he said. Right now, I want to know why your mother is at your apartment. My mom uncrossed her arms. I came to apologize. I shouldn't have told you to suck it up. I was just stressed about work and I wasn't thinking clearly. You laughed when I told you they were broken, I said. I didn't laugh at you. I laughed because I was relieved it wasn't worse. You said you might need surgery and I panicked. That didn't make any sense, but before I could say anything, my phone buzzed with a text. It was from Tyler, my brother, who I barely talk to because he's always busy with his job in Colorado. The text said, Dad told me what happened. I'm sorry I never said anything before. Mom made me promise not to tell you about my shoulder. She said it would make you not trust her. I showed my mom the text. She looked at it and then looked away. I was trying to protect you, she said quietly. From what? I asked. From knowing that you don't care when we're hurt? That's not fair. You told me I better hope my fingers were broken. You said you wouldn't help pay for anything if they weren't. What part of that is caring? My mom started crying. Real tears this time, not the fake ones she uses when she wants something. I know I screwed up. I've been screwing up for years. I don't know how to be a good mom sometimes. My dad was quiet on the phone. I could hear him breathing, but he wasn't saying anything. Kayla opened the apartment door and called down. Everything okay? Yeah, I called back. Then, to my mom, I said, I think you should go. Please don't shut me out. My mom said, I'm sorry. I really am. I need space to think about this. She nodded and wiped her eyes, got back in her car without saying anything else. I watched her drive away and then went back upstairs. My dad was still on the phone. You did good, kiddo. I don't feel good. I know, but you stood up for yourself. That matters. We talked for another hour after that. He told me everything about the divorce. Turns out my mom was the one who cheated, with her boss at the time. My dad found out and gave her a choice. Either end it and go to counseling or he was done. She chose her boss. Then when the affair ended badly, she tried to come back and my dad said no. She'd been spinning the story ever since, telling everyone he abandoned us, making him out to be the bad guy so nobody would question why he moved away. Why didn't you tell us the truth? I asked. Your mom said if I tried to turn you kids against her, she'd make sure I never saw you again. Back then, I didn't have money for a lawyer. I was barely keeping my head above water. So I just let her have her version. Figured eventually you'd be old enough to see through it. Tyler knows? He figured it out when he was 17. Found some old emails. We've been talking more since then, but he didn't want to mess up your relationship with your mom. Thought it would be better if you decided for yourself what kind of person she is. After I hung up with my dad, I just sat on my couch staring at my splinted hand. Everything I thought I knew about my family was wrong. My mom wasn't the victim she'd always made herself out to be. My dad wasn't the deadbeat who left. And my brother had been carrying this secret for years, trying to protect me. Kayla made me mac and cheese for dinner because she said comfort food was necessary after a day like this. She was right. We watched some stupid reality show and didn't talk about my mom or my hand or anything serious. But later that night I couldn't sleep. My fingers were throbbing even with the pain meds and my brain wouldn't shut off. I kept thinking about all the times my mom had minimized things. When I sprained my wrist in 8th grade and she said I was being dramatic. When I got food poisoning and she said I probably just ate too fast. When I failed my driving test twice and she said I wasn't trying hard enough instead of considering that maybe I had test anxiety. Every time something happened, she found a way to make it seem like it was my fault or I was overreacting or it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I'd always believed her, because she's my mom. You're supposed to trust your mom. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Tyler. Can we talk? I called him right away. He answered on the second ring. Hey, he said. How's your hand? Broken. How's your shoulder? Still messed up. I can't throw a football anymore, probably never will be able to. I didn't know that. Yeah, well, Mom didn't want me telling anyone it was permanent. Said it would make her look bad. We talked for almost 2 hours. Tyler told me everything. How Mom had made him wait at home with a broken collarbone while she researched whether insurance would cover it. How she'd finally taken him to the doctor only after Dad threatened to call CPS. How the doctor said if they'd come in immediately, it probably would have healed fine, but the delay meant the bone set wrong. She cried and apologized to me after, Tyler said. Promised she'd never do it again. I believed her. Then you sprained your wrist and she did the same thing. I remember that. She took me to the doctor eventually, but it took like 3 days because Dad called her and told her to. I was there. I heard them fighting on the phone. She was mad at him for interfering. Why didn't you tell me any of this? Tyler was quiet for a minute. Honestly, I was scared. Mom has this way of making you feel like you're the problem. Like if you just handled things better, everything would be fine. It took me years of therapy to realize that's manipulation. You're in therapy? Yeah. Started when I was 19. Best decision I ever made. Does Mom know? Hell no. She'd find some way to make it about her. How she failed as a mother. How I'm blaming her for all my problems. It's exhausting. After we hung up, I made a decision. I texted my mom, I need you to be honest with me about something. Did you cheat on Dad? She didn't respond for 6 hours. When she finally did, it was just, who told you that? Answer the question. Another hour went by. Then, it's complicated. Your dad and I had problems. I made a mistake. It doesn't change the fact that he left. He left because you gave him no choice. That's his version of events. It's also Tyler's version. And mine now. She tried calling me after that. 17 times in one night. I didn't answer. She left voicemails that started with apologies and ended with accusations. How could I believe my dad over her? How she'd sacrificed everything to raise us alone. How ungrateful I was being. By the end of the week, my hand was feeling a little better, but my relationship with my mom was dead. I blocked her number after she started texting me in the middle of the night. Long, rambling messages about how she'd done her best and nobody appreciated her and maybe she should just disappear since nobody wanted her around anyway. Classic guilt trip. It might have worked on me a few weeks ago, but not anymore. My dad sent me money to cover my medical bills, even though I told him I had it covered. He said he'd been wanting to help for years, but Mom always told him we didn't need anything. Turns out she'd been taking his child support money and spending it on herself. Tyler confirmed he never saw a dime of it for college like Dad had intended. She told me Dad didn't send anything, Tyler said when I asked him about it. Said he'd cut us off completely. Did you ever ask Dad directly? Not until I was 22. By then, I'd already paid my own way through school with loans. Dad was pissed when he found out. Sent me copies of every check he'd written. Thousands of dollars over the years. Mom had been cashing them and lying to both of us. The more I learned, the angrier I got. Not the explosive kind of angry. The cold kind that settles in your chest and doesn't go away. 2 weeks after my mom showed up at my apartment, my brother flew out to visit. First time I'd seen him in person in almost 3 years. We went to this bar near campus and just talked. About Mom. About Dad. About all the lies we'd been told growing up. The worst part is I still love her, Tyler said. Like, intellectually, I know she's toxic and manipulative, but she's still our mom. Yeah, I said. I get that. But loving someone doesn't mean you have to let them hurt you, he continued. My therapist says that a lot. It took me a long time to believe it. Do you still talk to her? Barely. Birthday and Christmas texts. That's about it. She'll call sometimes when she wants something, but I usually don't answer. Does she know you talk to Dad? Oh yeah. She lost her mind when she found out. Sent me this long email about how I was choosing him over her. How I was betraying her after everything she'd done for me. I didn't respond. Figured she'd get over it eventually. Did she? Nope. She brings it up every time we do talk. Makes these passive-aggressive comments about my relationship with Richard. Like I'm not allowed to have a father because she decided to demonize him. That night, Tyler and I made a pact. We were done covering for Mom. Done making excuses for her behavior. Done pretending her treatment of us was normal. It felt good to have someone who understood. Someone who'd been through the same thing and come out the other side. My hand healed over the next month. The doctor said I was lucky I went in when I did because another day or two and it might have been too late to set properly. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't hear from my mom for 3 weeks after I blocked her. Then she found a way around it by using my aunt's phone. My Aunt Linda on my mom's side. She texted me saying my mom was devastated and I was breaking her heart by shutting her out. I responded with screenshots of Mom's guilt trip texts and the medical report from my hand. Then I added the information Dad had given me about Tyler's shoulder and the child support checks. Aunt Linda didn't respond. But 2 days later, my mom's sister called me. My Aunt Patricia, who I actually like. Your mom is telling everyone you're lying about her, Patricia said. But I believe you. She's always been like this. What do you mean? Making everything about her. Playing the victim. Your grandmother did the same thing. It's a pattern. Patricia told me stories I'd never heard before. About how my mom used to fake being sick to get out of school. How she'd lie to their parents about Patricia to get her in trouble. How she'd borrowed money from family members and never paid it back. "I tried warning your dad before he married her," Patricia said. "But he was in love, thought she'd changed. And maybe she had for a while. But people like your mom, they always go back to their default setting eventually. Why didn't anyone tell us this growing up? Your mom cut off most of the family after the divorce. Said we were taking your dad's side. Anyone who tried to stay in touch with you kids got threatened. She told us she'd make sure we never saw you again if we said anything negative about her. That's insane. That's your mother." After that phone call, I felt both better and worse. Better because I knew I wasn't crazy. My mom really was manipulative and toxic. But worse because I realized my entire childhood had been built on lies. I started seeing a therapist, a lady named Dr. Brennan, who specialized in family trauma. She helped me understand that my mom's behavior wasn't about me. It was a pattern that existed long before I was born. Children of narcissistic parents often struggle with self-worth, Dr. Brennan said during one session, because they've spent their whole lives being told their needs don't matter, that their pain isn't real unless it's convenient for the parent. That hit hard. I'd spent 21 years believing I was too sensitive, too dramatic, too much, when really I just had a mother who couldn't handle anyone's emotions but her own. My dad and I started talking more. Real conversations, not just surface-level stuff. He told me about the guilt he'd carried for years, about how he wished he'd fought harder for custody, about how he'd let my mom's threats scare him away. "I should have documented everything," he said during one call. "Should have kept records of her behavior. But back then I was just trying to survive, working 2 jobs to pay child support while she was telling you guys I didn't care. She said you left us for another woman. I did start seeing someone eventually, but not until 2 years after the divorce was final. Your mom found out and twisted it into proof that I'd been cheating all along." "Who was she?" "Woman I met at work. We dated for a while, but it didn't work out. I think I was too messed up from everything with your mom to be in a healthy relationship." "Are you with anyone now?" "Yeah. Her name's Victoria. We've been together 5 years. She's good for me. Calls me on my bullshit. Makes me laugh. You'd like her. I'd like to meet her someday." "I'd like that too." 3 months after the gym incident, my mom sent me an email. A long one detailing all the ways I'd hurt her. How I was ungrateful. How I was cruel for believing my dad's lies. How she'd given up everything for me and Tyler, and this was how we repaid her. It ended with, "If you want to have a relationship with me, you need to apologize and admit that you've been unfair. Until then, I won't be reaching out anymore. The ball is in your court." I forwarded it to Tyler without comment. He responded 5 minutes later. "Classic mom. Making her shitty behavior. Your responsibility." I didn't respond to her email. Didn't apologize. Didn't admit anything. Just let it sit there in my inbox as a reminder of exactly who she was. The ball was in my court, and I was choosing not to play. Kayla asked me once if I felt bad about cutting my mom off. We were eating cereal for dinner because neither of us felt like cooking. "Sometimes," I admitted. "Like when I see other people with their moms having normal relationships, I feel like I'm missing out on something." "You're missing out on having a mom who treats you like shit," Kayla said. "That's not actually a loss. It still feels sad though. Sad is okay. Sad is different from guilty. You're allowed to be sad about not having the mom you deserved. You're not allowed to feel guilty for protecting yourself from the mom you got." That made sense. I was sad about the relationship I'd never have. The mom who would actually care when I got hurt. Who would put my needs before her pride. Who would be capable of admitting when she was wrong. But I wasn't guilty. Because I didn't cause this. I just finally stopped pretending it was normal. Tyler flew out again for Christmas. We spent it with Dad and Victoria at Dad's place. Victoria turned out to be exactly what Dad described. Funny, honest, caring without being overbearing. She made prime rib and let us pick all the sides. She asked about college and my major without making it feel like an interrogation. "Your dad talks about you boys all the time," she said while we were doing dishes. "He's really proud of you." "He tell you about our mom?" I asked. "Some. Enough to know it was rough, but he doesn't trash talk her if that's what you're worried about. He mostly just seems sad about the time he missed with you guys." Tyler overheard and came into the kitchen. "We're making up for it now." And we were. It felt weird at first being around Dad so much after years of barely talking, but it was getting easier, more natural. My phone buzzed during dinner. A text from my mom. "Merry Christmas. I hope you're happy with your new family." Tyler saw my face. "Is that Mom?" I showed him the text. "Passive-aggressive even on Christmas," he said. Impressive. I didn't respond to her. Just put my phone on silent and finished dinner. Later that night, Dad asked if we were doing okay. Really okay, not just surface level. "Getting there," Tyler said. "It's weird navigating holidays without Mom, but also kind of a relief not walking on eggshells." "She reach out to you?" Dad asked. "Every few weeks. Usually some variation of, 'You've abandoned me just like your father did.' And you?" "Block and delete," Tyler said. "I'm done engaging. My therapist says trying to reason with someone who isn't operating in reality is pointless." "That's probably true," Dad said. "But I know it's not easy. She's still your mother. Biology doesn't obligate me to accept abuse. Tyler said. That's something else my therapist says. I looked at my brother. Really looked at him. He seemed lighter somehow. Like cutting ties with mom had lifted weight. I didn't even realize he'd been carrying. I think I need to fully commit to this, I said. Stop feeling guilty every time she reaches out. The guilt fades, Tyler said. I promise. It takes time, but eventually you realize you're not the villain in this story. You're just someone who decided they deserved better. That stuck with me. I wasn't the villain. I was someone who deserved better. The next semester, I changed my major. Switched from business, which I hated, to psychology. I wanted to understand people like my mom. Wanted to maybe help other people who grew up in similar situations. Doctor. Brennan said that was common. Children of difficult parents often go into helping professions. It's a way of taking control of the narrative, of helping others the way they wish they'd been helped. My hand healed completely. I could use it normally again, though the doctor said I'd probably have some arthritis when I got older. Small price to pay for not waiting like my mom wanted. I thought about Tyler and his shoulder a lot. How one decision by our mom had permanently affected his life. How he couldn't throw a football anymore. How he'd lost something he loved because she couldn't put his needs first. And I realized I'd gotten lucky. My injury could have been so much worse. If I'd waited like she told me to. If I'd trusted her judgment over my own. The summer after everything went down, I got an internship at a mental health clinic. Spent my days filing paperwork and sitting in on group therapy sessions for family dynamics. Listening to other people's stories made me realize mine wasn't unique. There were so many people out there with parents who couldn't apologize, who made everything about themselves, who used guilt and manipulation instead of love and support. One woman in group therapy said something that hit me hard. I spent 30 years trying to earn my mother's approval before I realized she was never going to give it. Not because I wasn't good enough, but because she didn't have it to give. That was my mom. She didn't have approval to give, didn't have unconditional love, didn't have the capacity to put someone else's needs first. And no amount of trying on my part was going to change that. Tyler called me one night in July. Mom's engaged? What? Yeah, to some guy she met at work. They've been dating for 4 months apparently. 4 months and she's getting married? You know, Mom always needs someone to validate her. I guess this guy is it. Did she tell you? Aunt Patricia told me. Mom sent out engagement announcements to the whole family. Except us. Of course she did. She's also telling everyone that her sons abandoned her, but she's found real family now. Direct quote from Patricia. I laughed. Couldn't help it. She's something else. The guy's name is Don. He's 53, works in insurance, divorced twice, has 3 kids who apparently don't talk to him, so he's perfect for her. That's what I thought. We joked about it, but there was something sad underneath. Our mom was about to marry a stranger and hadn't even told her own sons. Just sent announcements to extended family like we didn't exist. You think we should reach out? I asked. Like congratulate her or something? Do you want to? Not really. Then don't. We don't owe her anything. He was right. We didn't. The wedding happened in September. I know because Aunt Patricia sent me pictures. My mom looked happy in them, smiling in a white dress that was too young for her. Don looked uncomfortable in a suit that didn't quite fit. There was a picture of them cutting the cake, another of them dancing, one of my mom hugging Don's daughter who looked about my age. Your mom asked about you, Patricia texted. Said she hoped you'd come but understood if you didn't want to. That was the closest thing to an olive branch I'd gotten from my mom in months. She hoped I'd come. Like I even knew about the wedding until after it happened. I didn't respond to Patricia. Just saved the photos somewhere I wouldn't have to look at them. Tyler sent me a meme that night. It was that Spider-Man pointing at himself meme, but both Spider-Men were labeled Don's kids who don't talk to him and Diane's kids who don't talk to her. I sent back crying, laughing emojis. Because what else could you do? My grades improved that fall semester. Funny how much easier it is to focus on school when you're not constantly stressed about family drama. I made Dean's List for the first time ever. Dad sent me a care package with my favorite snacks and a card that said, "Proud of you, kiddo." I kept that card on my desk all semester. Thanksgiving rolled around and I spent it with Kayla's family. They were loud and chaotic in the best way. Everyone talked over each other and argued about politics and laughed until they cried. Her mom asked where my family was and I said it was complicated. She didn't push. Just gave me an extra serving of mashed potatoes and told me I was welcome anytime. I got a text from my mom on Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for my sons even though they've chosen to hurt me. I hope you remember that I will always love you no matter what. Tyler got the same text. We screenshot it and sent it to each other with eye roll emojis. The guilt trip that keeps on giving, he texted. It's my favorite holiday tradition, I responded. Christmas that year was back at Dad's. Victoria went all out with decorations. The tree was huge and covered in ornaments. She'd even made stockings for everyone, including one for Tyler's girlfriend who was visiting. We did a white elephant gift exchange and Dad got stuck with a singing fish that he pretended to love, but Victoria made him throw away the next day. Tyler gave me a book on family psychology that he said changed his life. Chapter 7 is particularly relevant, he said. I read it that night. It was about breaking cycles of abuse, about recognizing when a relationship is beyond repair and having the strength to walk away. I cried reading it. Not sad tears. More like relief tears. Someone had written down everything I'd been feeling and validated it. My phone stayed silent that Christmas. No texts from Mom. No passive-aggressive holiday wishes. Part of me wondered if she was okay. If something had happened. But mostly I just felt peace. She's fine, Tyler said when I mentioned it. Patricia says she's living her best life with Don, posting all over Facebook about her perfect marriage and her amazing new family. Good for her, I guess. Yeah, and good for us. We clinked our beer bottles together. To being free. To choosing ourselves. To finally putting down the guilt we'd been carrying for years. The spring semester started and I threw myself into my classes. Psychology of family systems, child development, abnormal psychology. Every class felt like it was explaining my childhood in academic terms. I wrote a paper about parentification, about how some parents turn their children into emotional support animals, force them to manage the parents' feelings instead of the other way around. Got an A on that paper. My professor wrote, "Personal experience evident in your analysis" in red pen at the top. She wasn't wrong. I ran into one of my mom's friends at the grocery store in March. Linda, something. She'd been at our house a million times when I was growing up. "How's your mother?" she asked. I wouldn't know. We don't talk. Her face did this thing where she tried to look concerned, but really she just wanted gossip. "Oh, that's so sad. She misses you terribly." "Does she?" "She cries about it all the time. Says her sons have turned their backs on her." "Did she mention why?" "She said you believed lies about her from your father." I smiled. Not a happy smile. The kind of smile you give when you're done explaining yourself. That's not what happened, but I'm not going to debate it in the cereal aisle. "Have a nice day, Linda." I walked away before she could respond. Felt good to just end the conversation instead of defending myself. Tyler graduated that spring. Got his master's degree in engineering. Dad and I flew out to Colorado for the ceremony. Mom wasn't there. Tyler hadn't told her about it. She would have made it about her somehow, he said at dinner after. How proud she was despite everything. How she managed to raise successful sons even though we abandoned her. I didn't want that energy on my day. Fair, I said. Plus, she never came to any of my stuff when I actually wanted her there. Why would I want her here now? We toasted to that. To being done with obligatory invitations. To only surrounding ourselves with people who actually gave a damn. That summer, I got my first real therapy client. Well, supervised therapy client. I was still an undergrad, but the clinic let students shadow licensed therapists and occasionally run sessions under supervision. My client was a 19-year-old girl named Tessa whose mother sounded exactly like mine, minimized her feelings, made everything about herself, guilted her for having boundaries. I had to excuse myself twice during our first session because I was getting too emotional. My supervisor, Dr. Chen, pulled me aside after. "This is hitting close to home for you," she said. "Yeah, that's okay. It means you can empathize. But you need to maintain professional distance. Can you do that?" I thought about it. "I think so. I know exactly what she's going through. Use that. But don't let it cloud your judgment. Your job is to help her find her own answers, not to project your experience onto hers." Dr. Chen was right. Over the next few weeks, I worked with Tessa while being careful not to make it about me. But I understood her in a way I don't think someone without a similar background could have. When she cried about feeling guilty for avoiding her mom's calls, I got it. When she said she felt broken for not being able to just forgive and move on, I understood. When she asked if she was a bad person for choosing herself, I could honestly say no. By the end of summer, Tessa had set clear boundaries with her mom. She'd stopped answering guilt-trip texts. She'd started processing years of emotional manipulation in healthy ways. "Thank you," she said during our last session. "You're the first person who didn't tell me to just work it out with her because she's my mom." "Sometimes working it out isn't possible," I said. "Sometimes the healthy choice is to step back." She hugged me on her way out. Against protocol, but Dr. Chen let it slide. I got a text from an unknown number in August. "This is Don, your mother's husband. I think we should talk." I showed it to Tyler. "What the hell does he want?" Tyler asked. "No idea." "You going to respond?" "Should I?" "Probably not, but I'm curious." I was curious too. Against my better judgment, I texted back. "About what?" "Your mother's mental health. She's not doing well." My stomach dropped. Despite everything, part of me still cared. "What do you mean?" "She's been depressed since we got married. Won't leave the house. Cries all day. Talks about how her sons hate her. That's unfortunate. I think if you reached out, it would help." There it was. The real reason for the text. He wanted me to fix her. "I don't think that's a good idea." I texted back. "She's your mother. She needs you. She needed me a lot of times. Never seemed to matter then." He didn't respond for an hour. Then, "I don't know what happened between you, but family should stick together. Tell that to her." I tried for 21 years. I blocked his number after that. Told Tyler what happened. "He's going to figure out real quick why his own kids don't talk to him," Tyler said. "Mom's probably already making him choose between her feelings and reality." "Yep. I give them a year before he bails." 6 months, Tyler countered. "Once the honeymoon phase wears off and he realizes she's never going to be happy no matter what he does." We were both wrong. They lasted 3 months. Patricia texted me in November. Your mom and Don are divorcing. She's claiming he's emotionally abusive. Thought you should know. Of course she is, I responded. She's moving back in with your grandmother. Says she needs family support during this difficult time. My grandmother, who my mom had cut off years ago for taking Dad's side. But now that she needed something suddenly, that didn't matter. How's Grandma feel about that? I asked Patricia. Not great, but you know your grandmother. Can't say no to her kids even when she should. I felt bad for my grandma. She was about to have a front row seat to my mom's victim complex, but there wasn't anything I could do about it. I sent Grandma a card, just a thinking of you message. Didn't mention Mom, didn't offer to help with the situation, just wanted her to know I was thinking about her. She called me a week later. Thank you for the card, sweetheart. Of course, Grandma. Your mother told me you hate her. I don't hate her. I just can't have a relationship with her. She doesn't understand why. I know. She thinks your father poisoned you against her. Grandma, Dad didn't have to poison us. We figured it out on our own. She was quiet for a minute. I know your mother isn't easy. She never has been. But she's still your mother. And I'm still her daughter. But that doesn't mean I have to accept how she treats me. She loves you in her own way. Her way hurts. Another long silence. I understand. I wish things were different. But I understand. That conversation stayed with me for days. Even my grandmother, who'd lived with my mom's behavior her whole life, couldn't fully hold her accountable. Just kept making excuses. She loves you in her own way. She doesn't understand why. But understanding and accepting are two different things. I could understand that my mom was a product of her own upbringing and probably had untreated mental health issues. That didn't mean I had to sacrifice my own well-being to manage hers. Finals hit hard that semester. I was taking 18 credits and working part-time at the clinic. Between studying and sessions, I barely had time to eat. But I was happy. Actually happy. Not the fake happy I used to perform when my mom was around. Real, genuine happiness that came from being exactly where I was supposed to be. I made it through finals and went home to Dad's for winter break. Tyler flew in from Colorado with his girlfriend Emma. We spent 2 weeks eating too much and watching bad movies and playing board games until midnight. My phone buzzed on Christmas Eve. A text from Mom. I know we haven't talked in a while, but I wanted you to know I think about you every day. I'm sorry for whatever I did to make you hate me. I hope someday you can forgive me and we can be a family again. I showed it to Tyler and Emma. It's the non-apology apology, Emma said. My mom does the same thing. Sorry for whatever I did. Like she doesn't actually know what the problem is. Classic, Tyler agreed. I stared at the text for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to lay out exactly what she'd done, to make her understand, but I knew it wouldn't matter. She'd already decided she was the victim. Nothing I said would change that narrative. So I didn't respond. Just deleted the text and went back to our game of Monopoly. You okay? Dad asked later. Yeah, I'm good. And I was. For the first time in my life, I was actually good. The next year and a half passed quickly. I finished my undergrad with honors. Got accepted into a graduate program for clinical psychology. Started dating someone who actually treated me well. His name was Owen. We met at the clinic where I was still working part-time. He was doing his clinical hours for his own graduate program. Your family situation is complicated, he said after I explained why I didn't talk to my mom. That's one way to put it. Do you think you'll ever reconcile? Probably not. She'd have to acknowledge what she did wrong, and she's not capable of that. That must be hard. It was. But it's easier now. I've accepted that I'm never going to have the mom I wanted. And that's okay. I have other people who fill that role. He understood that. His own father had been absent most of his life. We bonded over shared experiences of disappointing parents. Tyler got engaged to Emma. They set a date for June. A small wedding at a vineyard in Colorado. Mom doesn't know, Tyler told me when they announced it. I'm not inviting her. How's Grandma feel about that? She's disappointed, but she gets it. Said she'll come without telling Mom. Think Mom will find out? Probably. Someone always talks. But by then, it'll be too late for her to show up and cause drama. The wedding was beautiful. Small and intimate, just like they wanted. Emma's parents were there. Dad and Victoria. Grandma. A handful of close friends. No Mom. I stood up as Tyler's best man. Gave a speech about brotherhood and chosen family and how proud I was of the man he'd become. After the ceremony, we took pictures by the vineyard. Everyone looked happy. Genuinely happy. Not performing for someone who would find fault in everything. Think Mom knows yet? I asked Tyler during the reception. Patricia said she posted about it on Facebook earlier. So yeah, probably. She say anything? Blocked her on Facebook 2 years ago. So I have no idea. And I don't want to know. We danced and drank wine and celebrated two people who'd chosen each other, who'd built a relationship on honesty and respect. Everything our parents' marriages weren't. My phone buzzed around midnight. A text from unknown number. This is your mother. I can't believe you went to your brother's wedding without telling me. After everything I've done for you both, this is how you treat me? You've broken my heart. I showed Tyler. She found out, he said. Yep. You going to respond? Nope. I blocked the number. Slipped my phone back in my pocket. Went back to dancing. Because that's the thing about setting boundaries. They only work if you actually maintain them. If you let guilt pull you back in, you end up right where you started. And I was done starting over, done explaining myself, done carrying responsibility for someone else's emotions. I was just done. Tyler and Emma honeymooned in Italy. Dad and Victoria took a cruise. Owen and I adopted a dog together, a golden retriever puppy we named Murphy. Life kept moving forward. My graduate program was intense but rewarding. I was learning how to actually help people process trauma, how to set professional boundaries while still being empathetic. All the stuff I'd had to teach myself about personal boundaries came in handy. Dr. Brennan told me during one of our last sessions that I'd come a long way. When you first started seeing me, you were drowning in guilt. Now you're actually living your life. Took long enough. Healing isn't linear. And you had 21 years of conditioning to undo. Give yourself credit for the work you've done. I graduated with my master's degree 2 years later. Tyler flew in for the ceremony. Dad was there. Victoria. Owen. Even Kayla, who'd started the whole thing by driving me to urgent care that day at the gym. My mom wasn't there. Didn't even know it was happening. I'd stopped updating her on my life years ago. "How's your hand?" Kayla asked at dinner after the ceremony. I flexed my fingers. The ones that had been broken. "Good as new." "Well, mostly. Sometimes they hurt when it rains." "Worth it?" "What?" All of this. The fight with your mom. Everything that came after. Was it worth it?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. "Yeah," I said finally. "It was. Because the alternative was spending the rest of my life minimizing my own pain. Accepting treatment I didn't deserve. Teaching my future kids that family means tolerating abuse. Breaking my fingers sucked. But breaking free from my mom's manipulation? That saved my life. I opened my own practice a year later. Small office near campus. Specialized in family trauma and boundary setting. My first client was a 20-year-old whose mother told her she was being dramatic about a sprained ankle. I knew exactly how to help her. Tyler and Emma had a baby. A girl they named Grace. I flew out to Colorado to meet her. She was tiny and perfect and looked exactly like Tyler. "You think Mom knows she's a grandma?" I asked while holding Grace. "Probably. Patricia tends to overshare, but she's not involved in this kid's life. Emma and I decided before Grace was born that we're breaking the cycle." "Good. You ever think about having kids?" "Maybe someday. Owen and I have talked about it." "You'd be a good mom." "Thanks." I had a great example of what not to do. We laughed. Because what else can you do when the alternative is crying? My mom reached out one more time. 5 years after the gym incident. An email that Patricia forwarded because I'd blocked everything else. "I'm dying," it said. "Breast cancer. Stage 4. I know we haven't spoken in years, but I want to see you before I go. Please. I don't want to die without making things right with my children." I read it 3 times. Felt nothing. That should have scared me. The fact that I felt absolutely nothing learning my mother was dying, but it didn't. It just confirmed what I already knew. She'd killed our relationship long before the cancer started killing her. I forwarded it to Tyler. His response? "Patricia says it's real. She's got maybe 6 months. You going to see her?" "I don't know, are you?" I thought about it for days. Asked my therapist. Asked Owen. Asked Dad. Everyone said the same thing. No one could make this decision except me. Whatever I chose had to be something I could live with. In the end, I wrote her a letter. Didn't send it as an email. Actually wrote it by hand and mailed it. "Dear Mom, I got your message about the cancer. I'm sorry you're going through that. I hope you have people around you who can provide support. I'm not going to come see you. Not because I want you to die alone, but because I don't think I can have the conversation you're hoping for. The making things right conversation. I've spent 6 years building a life without you in it. 6 years setting boundaries and protecting my mental health and learning that I'm not responsible for your feelings. Coming to see you now would undo all of that. I don't hate you. I probably never did. But I also can't love you in the way you want me to. The way that requires me to forget everything that happened. To pretend it wasn't that bad. To forgive without any real acknowledgement of harm done. Tyler and I turned out okay despite everything. We have good lives, good relationships. We're breaking the cycles you never could. That's going to have to be enough. I hope you find peace in whatever time you have left. I really do. But I can't be the one to give it to you. Goodbye, your daughter. I mailed it and felt lighter. Not happy. Not sad. Just lighter. Mom died 4 months later. Patricia called to tell me. I thanked her for letting me know and asked about funeral arrangements. Sunday at 2, Holy Cross Cemetery. Your mom wanted you and Tyler to be there, but she understood if you couldn't make it. Tyler and I talked about it, decided to go. Not for closure, not to make peace, just to bear witness to the end of something that had defined so much of our lives. The funeral was small. My grandmother, a few aunts and uncles, some people from my mom's work. Dawn was not there. Tyler and I sat in the back row. Didn't cry, didn't speak, just watched as they lowered her casket into the ground. Feel anything? Tyler asked on the drive back. Not really. You? Same. Is that bad? Probably not. We mourned this relationship years ago. This is just making it official. We stopped for burgers on the way home. talked about Grace and Owen and Dad, about our jobs and plans for the future, about everything except the funeral we'd just left. Because moving forward meant exactly that. Moving forward, not looking back at what could have been or should have been, just accepting what was and choosing to build something better. I still have that splint from the gym. Keep it in a drawer in my office as a reminder, not of the injury, but of the choice I made that day in the parking lot.